Picture the tightest-run empire in music getting rocked by not one, but two alleged children demanding to be seen. Imagine waking up to see your name trending because a woman from Maryland says you're her dad, and the internet believes her. That's the exact storm swirling around Jay-Z right now, and the timing couldn't be worse. Another paternity claim just detonated online, piling on top of a 15-year legal tug-of-war with an alleged son who still can't get a simple DNA test. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's brand is built on perfection, precision, and privacy, and this saga is anything but tidy. So how did a quiet Instagram post turn into a full-blown family crisis, complete with rumors of hush money, court delays, and lyrics that sound a little too pointed? Let's trace the mess from the first whisper to the latest courtroom twist, and watch how every new reveal cranks the pressure higher. It starts with a woman who goes by LA, dropping a confession that felt less like clout chasing and more like pent-up truth bursting out. She says her family told her for years that Jay-Z was her real father. Not might be, was. According to her, nobody else fits the timeline, the looks, the whispers in her neighborhood. She posts on Instagram. She's been carrying this secret while taking care of a mom ravaged by multiple sclerosis, raising 4 kids, juggling 2 jobs, and pretending she didn't know who her dad was. Then comes the kicker. She claims an ancestry test put the odds at near certainty. 99% accuracy, she wrote, like a mic drop after decades of silence. Lawyers supposedly laughed her out of offices. Child support? Doesn't work the same for celebrities, she said. She's done waiting. She wants acknowledgement, not a payday. Post felt raw, specific, and just reckless enough to go viral. But here's where things tilt from personal pain to public scandal. Other people start chiming in, and their stories line up a little too neatly to ignore. But one Instagram rant could be dismissed, and a chorus of old friends? That's harder to shake off. Once LA spoke, comments rolled in from folks who claim they were there back in the day. If you're not from the shore, you won't understand, but we all knew that was her father, one person wrote. Another woman went further. She says she literally introduced Jay-Z to LA's mother. She remembers addresses, parties, card games, the smell of weed in cramped apartments, and a phone call to Rockefeller trying to get through. The response she says she got? Do you know how many women call me daily and say that Jay-Z is their baby daddy? Cold. Dismissive. Very on-brand for a superstar with gatekeepers. These aren't tabloids inventing drama. These are people tossing out real names and real places, daring anyone to prove them wrong. The narrative slowly morphs. It's not just LA's story anymore, it's a community's whispered history finally echoing across the internet. And if that's true, Jay-Z isn't facing a single claim, he's staring at a pattern. And of course, this isn't the first time his name's been attached to a birth certificate he allegedly never signed. Long before LA, there was Ramir Satherwaite, a name that's been floating around legal documents since the mid-2000s. He and his guardian, Dr. Lilly, say they've been fighting for a court-ordered DNA test for over a decade. Judges came and went. Motions got filed, thrown out, refiled. At one point, a judge actually ordered Jay-Z to submit a DNA sample. Seems straightforward, right? Except surprise, Jay-Z's team pushed back again. According to Ramir's side, lawyers on both ends played procedural chess, causing paperwork to accidentally misfire and cases to get tossed on technicalities. Dr. Lilly even launched legal action against their own attorneys, accusing them of cozying up to Jay-Z's camp. Fraud, collusion, intimidation, words you usually hear in political thrillers, not paternity disputes. Meanwhile, Ramir says he's not chasing a payout. He wants closure. He wants to know the truth. You can hear the fatigue in his interviews. If he's not my dad, wouldn't it be easier to just take the test? A simple yes or no answer that has somehow become a marathon. But Jay-Z didn't just stay silent. If you believe Ramir, he fired back, in a way that stings worse than a courtroom loss. When your brand is worth billions and your coupledom is practically a cultural institution, every bar you spit gets dissected. On Heard About Us, Jay-Z and Beyoncé throw in a line. Billie Jean in his prime for the 1000th time, the kid ain't mine. Fans laughed. Critics clocked it as swagger. But to Ramir, that sounded like mockery. He heard his life reduced to a punchline. The rumor mill says Beyoncé isn't just standing by her man, she's actively steering him away from a test. If true, that paints a very different picture of the queen. Less halo, more handle this before it torches everything. But is she controlling the narrative or just protecting the empire they built? Jay-Z has been publicly vocal about social justice, black fatherhood, and being a role model. Rymir calls that hypocrisy. He says, "Stand on the truth then." It's harsh, but it resonates. 'Cause if you parade integrity on stage, people expect to see it behind closed doors. And when a billionaire mogul shrugs off a lyric war kid he allegedly clowned decides to pick up a mic of his own, Rymir didn't lawyer up alone, he also hit the booth. Ninjas wash up still doing tracks like 55, Where the F You At? He put his frustration on wax, not to chase a trend but to remind the world he exists. His publicist said basically, Jay took shots in a song so Rymir's allowed to answer in kind. The message wasn't, give me your money. It was, acknowledge me or prove me wrong. He insists he isn't thirsty for fame. He just wants a clean slate. In an era when everything becomes content, it's tricky to separate genuine pain from strategic branding. But the exhaustion in his interviews feels real. He's tired of being dismissed as clout chasing. Jay-Z truly isn't his father. One cheek swab ends this. If he is, then decades of denial collapse in a single lab result. Either way, silence is no longer neutral, it looks like running. And buried inside this already messy saga is a detail that could nuke reputations if it ever hit a courtroom spotlight. Here's the allegation that keeps Jay-Z's lawyers up at night. Rymir's mother, Wanda, was allegedly 16 when she met Sean Carter, who was in his early 20s. Did she lie about her age? Did he know? Either answer is ugly. According to Dr. Lilly, early conversations with Jay-Z's team were cordial, even hinted at a possible record deal for Rymir. Finish high school first, they said. Then suddenly the tone flipped, more attorneys showed up and everything slowed to a crawl. Why the change? Rymir's camp believes it's because someone realized the potential legal landmine under their feet. If Wanda was underage, it's not just about a paternity test anymore, it's about optics, morality, and possibly worse. This is the kind of accusation you never want on a headline next to your name, especially when you've spent years rebuilding your image after cheating rumors and elevator fights. So what do you do if a second child shows up while the first case won't die, and the walls are closing in? You buy time, literally and legally. Court docs show a pattern. Filings that question service dates, argue technical errors, and ask for extensions. Jay-Z's team reportedly claimed they didn't even know about a suit until weeks after it dropped. Convenient? Maybe. Standard legal strategy? Also maybe. But to outsiders, it reads like a billionaire playing keep away with paperwork. The judge ordering a DNA test suggests the case isn't as baseless as Jay-Z's attorneys insist. If it truly were, why not end it with one appointment at a lab? Meanwhile, the public is split. Some see an obsessed accuser chasing a headline. Others see a scared father dodging accountability while lawyers spin every delay tactic known to man. Each motion buys time, and time dulls outrage. At least that's the hope. But new claims keep surfacing, and the internet never forgets. And just when you think it's all depositions and denials, there's a rumor about a house. A very expensive, very quiet house. The latest tea? Jay-Z allegedly bought Letitia. Yes, that Letitia. A $1.7 million mansion on the condition she keeps her mouth shut. Friends supposedly confirmed the deal, saying she signed an NDA without blinking. If true, that's not just hush money, that's a strategy. Solve it privately, stop the headlines, keep Beyonce calm. Because if Beyonce really isn't playing stepmom to outside babies, like the streets say, this could be the one thing that pushes her out the door. And make no mistake, she doesn't need him to remain a global icon. So is he trying to wrap this up quietly before she issues an ultimatum? Or is this just another rumor piling on a man who's already a lightning rod for wild claims? Either way, the optics scream damage control. And where there's one NDA, there could be more. So where does that leave us? With more questions than answers, and a clock that's ticking louder every day. Here's what we know. A woman says Jay-Z is her dad and backs it with a DNA kit. A man has begged for a test for 15 years. Locals say everyone knew. Lawyers stall. Lyrics mock. Rumors of hush money swirl. And Beyonce's patience? Unknown. We're stuck at the same fork in the road. Either Jay-Z clears his name with a simple test, or he keeps ducking and lets the speculation mount. Because the longer he waits, the more people will believe the worst. Will more alleged children step forward? Will Beyoncé choose peace over partnership? Or will the truth finally get dragged into the light by a judge who's done playing games? One swab could shut this all down or blow it up for good. Until then, every whisper sounds louder, every rumor feels truer, and every silence looks like guilt. So who's gonna be the next person in the limelight? Please like and subscribe for more of the latest celebrity news and updates. I'll see you all in the next one.